Hey you guys, guess what? They called and confirmed my appointment today. I feel so freaking amazing. They confirmed the appointment, so we are a go for September 29th at 1 p.m. Hi you guys, it's September 29th, 2020. Time for the appointment. The appointment is at 12:45, so we just stopped and ate breakfast and we're getting ready to get on the road. It's now 10:07 and we stay 2.5 hours away from our clinic. So we're about to get on the road and head to Duke Fertility Center, which is one of the top-notch fertility centers in the state, and I'm super excited. I don't know about him, but I'm super excited. So we're going in today for our IV consultation. I really don't know exactly what's going to be said. When we booked the appointment, the nurse did not give us any indication of what we would discuss and what not to do. I've done all of my testing in August, so I have already sent all my paperwork over to them regarding the results that I've gotten on my tests that we did in August. What else? I had to check in. I have my mask. Oh, it's upside down. I have my mask that I customized for the appointments. IVF got this. And yeah, we're ready to just do the thing. I'm hoping that we're gonna get in here and they're gonna say, okay, well, yes, we can start immediately, and that, you know, start date is ASAP. ASAP being the day of my next cycle, which is in a couple of weeks. So that's what I'm hoping and praying for. So I'm not sure what type of footage we're able to get inside of the facility. I don't know if, you know, I'm going to be able to record her face or just audio. So whatever happens next, you know, that'll be just the immediate result of what I was able to acquire. But I do want to document as much of the process as possible without me just having to sit here and regurgitate and say to you guys what happened. But I want you to hear it firsthand also. So I'm going to do my best, because I opted to not do a telecall or a tele-appointment. They had given me the option to do a video appointment, or I could go in person. And I wanted to go in person because I just wanted to be able to put faces with this doctor, and I didn't want the first time I physically see her to be when we start doing procedures. I wanted to see her face to face. But yeah, I think it's a good luck sign, because we're twinning today. Inadvertently, we got on stripes, and mine's are burgundy, and you know, he's got the red, but he's looking awful handsome today. That's the husband. He's looking real handsome today. And I enjoyed our breakfast date. We hadn't had a breakfast date in a long time. But yeah, I will come back when we get there. All right, guys, we just pulled up. It's a little after 12:30, so I am early. Due to COVID, I had to call in to check in before I could enter the building. So yeah, I'm about to grab my stuff and head into the office. Hey guys, so I'm back, and as you can tell, I'm in a different attire. It is a totally separate day from yesterday when we went to the consultation. I just came from working out, so excuse my look. I'm sweaty. But I didn't, and I apologize that I didn't get to record last night, like I said, or right as soon as we got in the car. But as soon as we got on the road to head back home, my neighbor called and told us that one of her children had broke down on one of the side of the interstates, and we needed to help. She needed us to go help get her off the side of the road. So what we thought was going to be maybe a 30-45 minute detour turned into us being there until almost 9 o'clock at night. So yeah, when I got in, I was more interested in getting to the presidential debate, and I didn't feel like recording what happened in the consultation. So as you can see, there's not any footage of what happened in the consultation due to their policies. I wasn't able to actually record the interactions. But when I entered in, we had to check in over the phone due to COVID. We had to check in before we could go inside. So we got inside, and I had a couple of medical forms that they hadn't had from my previous testings, and they were able to get those in. I handed them to him. He was the reception person, front desk person, whatever you call him, simply, where he was very, very pleased and impressed with my organization. So we checked in and we went to the back, and I was shocked that they immediately wanted to do vitals. I'm like, it's a consultation, but okay. So they did my weight and my blood pressure. They took my blood pressure twice. It was high, but the nurse said she believes I have white coat syndrome, and that's where your blood pressure is totally normal, but it's elevated when you get into a hospital or doctor office setting. I personally believe that it was increased because I was very nervous and I was very anxious, and I have high anxiety disorder. So I just had a lot going on internally, and it all was spilling out in me walking into that appointment. So we go back and we meet my doctor. My doctor's name is Dr. Shaya. And we went into a room. There was a nice round table between us, and she offered and prompted to, she said, well, not offered, but she prompted and said that ordinarily she would have shook our hands, but because of COVID, she wants to be preventive. And we understood and respected that. She had a mask on, we had our mask on, and the table that sat between us was more than enough space to accommodate for social distancing. So that was a major plus for me. I do understand that at some point she's going to get all the way up into my lady bits, and that's not going to be social distancing. But to actually practice social distancing off the gate, that was impressive. So she goes over and she explains everything to me. Mind you, I've done all my research prior to that, so it's pretty much just a confirmation of things that she was saying. I'm sorry, you guys. This waist trainer I got on is killing me. So it's just a confirmation of the things that I'd already researched. So she confirmed that we are going to have to do IVF with ICSI. She did go over, even though I knew what I was going to go through, she still went over the IVF process, the recommendation and possibility of having to get pre-implantation genetic testing or PGT or PGS testing. And I told her, I said I was, informed of that as well, because I am advanced maternal age. So yeah, I knew that was probably a chance. She also told me and informed me that they don't do cluster groupings. So some IVF practices want to do batch set cycles where they group their patients into one group, cycle group, and that whole cycle group does everything at the same week. So 1 week they're stemming, 1 week they're doing egg retrieval, 1 week they're doing their embryo transfer. And then you have the other alternative where you just go off of the actual beginning of the patient's menses or period. And that's what I preferred, because I didn't want to have to take any birth control pills or any type of medication that was going to make me sync up with someone else. I have been having the same type of cycle since I have had cycles. I've always been very, very regular, so I didn't want to change any of that aside from the interruption of a pregnancy. So with that being said, she said that everything looks great for us to be a go for November. Why November? Because we have to get a saline sonogram done to see the inside of my uterus. That is the only test I did not know was going to be a possibility. Had I known that that was a possibility, I would have had that SIS done. She also said that because my cycle is due to start in like a week and a half, it was kind of unreasonable for me to expect to start immediately in October, which I had already expected that. So when I went in, I was like, okay, well, I probably will start in November, because I just had this assumption that everybody had to do birth control. Even though I didn't want to take the birth control, I still thought that was a possibility. So she did tell me, no, we could do November. So I was super excited that she said November would be the start date, and possibly late November, because I start early in the month. So possibly late November, early December, I will do the embryo transfer, because we are going to do PGS testing. We are going to do the pre-genetic testing. And we went ahead, me and my husband talked about it, and yes, she recommended it, but we went ahead and agreed to do it, mainly because the cost of it is not pertinent for us. It's one of those, we are going through the VA administration for our insurance, and they're paying for everything. So as long as she recommends the testing, any testing, they're going to pay for it. So money is not an option. I thought, I was like, you know, I was in there, like, I felt like I was Oprah, and you get a genetic test, and you get a genetic test, and you get a genetic test. I wish I could do that to everybody. But at this point, a lot in the IVF process, a lot of the decisions that couples make is based on money. When are they going to be able to get the financing together? Are they going to be able to afford another round? Are they going to be able to afford the genetic testing? Some don't do the genetic testing because it can be an extra $2,000 to your treatment plan already. So the actual IVF process is one batch of payments, of a payment treatment plan. And then your medication is another set of treatment and payment plan. And then the PGT testing would be, or PGS testing would be something else. So you got 3 separate categories that you're having to pay for. And let's just be honest, a lot of people probably aren't prepared to do that, because you're looking at these cycles to be in upwards of $20,000 to $30,000 a cycle, depending on everything that has to be done. Another thing that she wants to do is check my records from my HSG, because it did appear during the procedure when I got it, I told her I did hear the radiologist and the obstetrician who was observing that my left fallopian tube was possibly blocked. But they said it wasn't swollen, it wasn't protruding, so they don't know for sure if it was spazzing and that it's not blocked, or if it's scar tissued and it's blocked, or if it's fluid and it's hydro something, she said. And that if it was if it was the one where it's the water in it, then she would have to remove my tube before she could do the embryo transfer. So she was saying how we could go ahead and we could do the stems, get the eggs out, get the eggs fertilized, do the genetic testing, and freeze the embryos. I could remove my fallopian tube, and then whatever the recovery time is from her doing the removal of the fallopian tube, then we would transfer the embryos in. I don't want to do that because I really do want to do embryo transfer in 2020. So I'm hoping and praying and fingers crossed that, you know, that's not the case, and that she says, oh, it's fine. It's scar tissue and you're not going to ovulate naturally on that side, but you're good to go, which we're okay because we're going to have to go through IVF because we have male factor. So even if I did ovulate, he's not going to be able to hit it because we got male factor. What else am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something. We're not doing birth control. We are going to immediately do the stems on day 2. And the day 2 of the cycle. I'm trying to go over everything. I got my consent form. So we left out with this packet of consent forms. One is explaining the consent, and I don't know if you can see it. This one is the consent for cryopreservation and the storage of the embryos and what we intend to do with it. And we have to sign these in front of her. This one is just going into great detail of IVF, and she told us to really just pay close attention to the part where it says IVF with ICSI, because that's exactly what we're going to have to do. And we have to sign this in front of her. And this one is the PGT testing that we have to sign in front of her, and this goes into great detail with the company that they're going to be using to do the PG testing, and what PG pre-implantation genetic testing is. So what she basically was telling us was that because I'm 40, and when you're conceived, you have all the eggs that you're ever going to have in a lifetime. So they have been in there from the day you were in your mother's womb. So sometimes when they've been in there longer and you're older and you're trying to do pregnancy, some of those eggs could have extra chromosome, missing chromosomes. So they just want to make sure that they are normal genetic embryos. And it doesn't, and in here it says that even though I'm losing my train of thought, even though it tells you that it's a genetically normal embryo, they can't guarantee that that's going to guarantee a pregnancy rate. She did look at my numbers, my AMH number, and she did tell me that my AMH is great. She said that it was great, and that she anticipated me possibly getting 10 to 12 eggs per cycle. So I was pleased with that, because if we could walk away with maybe 4 or 5 embryos to play around with, we're good to go. She did say that she was going to transfer over 2. Due to my age, we are going to have 2 put in. They don't do them over 2, so that was great. Great to know. So I felt very comfortable in the office. Afterwards, she did order some blood work. I had to do some an infectious disease blood work panel, which is going to test for syphilis, Hep B, Hep C, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and HIV. I've already done it in August, but I had it done at my doctor's office during my pap smear, and they said that they need it done through their facility and that the test results are good for a year. I'm not really concerned about it because everything came back okay with the test that I had done in August, so I'm more than confident they're going to be fine this way. They also wanted urine, so I had to give a urine sample, and it ended. Once I got home and I realized when my cycle was supposed to start, and when they had me scheduled to do the signatures, I realized that was only a week before my cycle. And I recall her telling me that it takes up to 2 weeks for the medications to come in. So I asked, I shot her an email this morning after while I was getting the children ready for school, and just asked her, I noticed that you have a notary section on the paperwork. Can we go to our notary and sign it in front of our notary and get these back to you? Or can the date be scheduled again? Because I, would like to start, like we agreed, with my menses in November. And I gave her the date of when my menses is scheduled to start, because like I said, I'm clockwork. So November 2nd, my period's coming on, honey. And I'm calling you on November 2nd. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. She I did that like between 6:30 and 7 this morning. So she's very prompt, because she emailed me back 8:30ish. I checked it around 8:30ish, and she had already responded, giving me the options of either her already having the medical treatment plan written up. That way the medication can be requested already before we come in and sign the treatment plan, or her just moving me up to the week before. And I just responded back and informing her I would prefer that we just move the appointment up. That way we're right there in the office. I can see the treatment plan before you put it into protocol to order it. I know I don't have any choice on what medication she recommends, but I just feel more comfortable if I see my treatment plan before you actually put the treatment plan into effect, if that makes sense. So that's how it went. Very, very pleased with the whole procedure and the whole setup. They were very nice and welcoming to me. So I'm just very calmingly anticipating these next steps. So the next entry that you'll see from me will be my saline sonogram. They only do them on Tuesdays, and they only do them through cycle days 5 through 12. And my 12th day happens to be October 20th. So they want to make sure that they have that done before you are ovulating, but after you are bleeding from your menses. So the only day that I'm going to be able to get into the window for that will be October 20th. So that will be the next entry as far as the IVF cycle goes. I do, on another note, have to go to the orthodontist tomorrow to get the braces checked on. The powertrain over here broke Monday, so I'm very happy that I'm going to the orthodontist, because if that broke off and we can get them switched out. But yeah, you'll be seeing my next video definitely will be a braces update video. But yeah, the next entry in this series will be on October 20th, when we're headed to the saline sonogram. Again, I want to thank you guys for watching. Please don't hesitate to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification bell so that you're always updated for whenever I upload any more of my videos on just the lifestyles of Sonia.